So I'd like to talk about the Casio Lineage LCW-M100 as someone with a small wrist. Let me zoom in. My wrist looks like a pool stick. I've owned this watch for over 7 months or so, and I just want to share 3 pros and 1 con, and then some general comments about this particular watch. Just as a reference, I have a 6¼ inch or 16 centimeter wrist circumference and a wrist width or wrist table, basically the distance between this part of my wrist and this part of my wrist, the part that you see, it's about 2 inches. Let me just say first off the bat, I like this watch, and that's why I got 2 of them, but more about that later. Okay, on to the boring stuff. Just to go over some of the dimensions, the 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock is 37 millimeters. The 9 o'clock to the 3 o'clock is 40 millimeters. The lug to lug I got at 43 millimeters. I got the sapphire crystal at 33 millimeters. And the bracelet starts at 20 millimeters here and it tapers off to about 18. Okay, but why did I buy this watch? The answer, JDM. I think it's very cool to have Japanese domestic market only watches, particularly when it comes to the Casios. They don't all come to the US or other parts of the world. And I had family that was going to Japan, and so I actually asked them to pick me up a watch. And well, since they were going to pick me up a watch, I said, oh, maybe you can get me 2 watches, which is why I ended up getting the same model, the M100s, but one in black and then one in white. I probably should have just bought the one instead of the 2. As I'm growing in my watch collections, I'm learning maybe it's not a great idea to have duplicates and to hold off on buying duplicates of the same watch, even if they're in different colors. But it's just something that I'm growing into. Let's start with the pros. Pro number 1 is the weight. This watch is pretty light. That's the first thing that I noticed when I opened it up and got it out of the box. This is my first titanium watch, and man, you can definitely tell the difference between titanium and steel, and of course resin, but particularly between titanium and steel, you can definitely tell the difference in just the lightness of the material. I didn't think it'd make that big a difference, but to be honest, every time I wear this watch, I just think, my gosh, this watch, it's so light. Now, some people may not like that feel. They want like a heavy, or a hefty watch. But for me, I prefer actually to have a watch that has very little wrist presence in terms of the weight. Pro number 2 is the features. With these watches, it is feature packed with probably everything you'd ever need in a watch. It has solar, it has multi-band 6, so you never have to set the time. It has a little analog display, which is really nice. Sapphire crystal, titanium, everything. It just, I don't know what more you could want in a watch, especially for somebody with a smaller wrist. All right, and pro number 3, the design. And this also includes the fit. Now, originally, I wasn't too keen on, let me zoom in, I wasn't too keen on the Ana Digi look. I just wanted a clean watch. I like it when the date is right there at the 3. But when I saw this watch and I saw all of the features that it had, I think that design was growing on me. Because the Lineage line comes in several different styles, I'm really glad that I picked up these ones in particular. Some of the designs have it where it gets cut off at the bottom, but there's like a number 6, and it drives me absolutely crazy. I don't know why they would do that. It just looks bad in my opinion. The only things that get cut off by the digital display are these bottom indices here. Everything else looks nice and clean, doesn't look like it was a mistake. Let me put on the black one so you can see what it looks like. And also part of the design is the dimensions of it. I think it looks great on a small wrist. There's some bigger ones that get a little bit too big. This one, again, being sub 40 millimeters, I think works perfect for someone with a small wrist. And now for the con, and this is a strange one, so it's gonna take some explanation. This watch seems to be replaceable. Now I do want to explain that because I think it's kind of confusing in a lot of ways. This watch has everything that I could probably ever want in a nice office watch. I mean, I think it looks good, the good materials, has all the features, It's like basically perfect. But the problem is this the ceiling of my watch collecting? Is this the best I'm ever gonna get? And I had to ask myself that. And the reality is, no, I'd like to go a little bit higher. And you would think that Lineage would be the ceiling and then there'd be nothing else. But actually, if you look into Casio's lineup in particular, especially if you're looking at Casio's, there's the Oceanus line. And to me, that is the ceiling. And I know for me personally, if I were to go up in price, in features, and again, the watches with the Oceanus, they're close, right? Like all the features are still there that this watch pretty much has. But the design on the Oceanus watch looks amazing. I would love to buy one day, or a series of them. But the problem is, once I get those, once I enter the Oceanus line, I know that this Lineage line is over. I'm probably not going to wear it, and that's too bad, because these watches are perfect, and they're good for what I need it. They need it for work. I need it for something a little bit dressy for the office. These are the watches that I'm going to wear. It's light, great features. Again, everything I could possibly need. Day of the week, the date, it has there's so many good things about this little, I don't know if you can tell, light's a little weak, but there's so many good things about this watch. It's just that it is replaceable. And if you're going to look at this watch and you think to yourself, that's the highest I want to spend, then I think this is a good dream watch. This is like the ceiling. But if you're just like collecting watches, especially when it comes to Casio, and you're going to go deeper, or you're going to go more into the lineup, and you want to go into some of the next level in terms of price, I feel like these watches will get lost in the fold, because Oceanus is, to me, just too good. It's leaps and bounds better than the Lineage, but the Lineage is the top, I feel like, in its class at a certain price point. And unfortunately, that makes this watch very replaceable. So like I mentioned, this is probably my favorite watch to wear to work. Between the black one and the white one, I think I'm pretty much covered. I like the weight, I like the features. Everything is just, seriously, it has enough watch. This could be it. But again, the problem becomes when, as a watch collector, your eyes start to wander, and this doesn't seem like it's a good ceiling watch. And so when a time comes for me to step up and look at other more expensive watches, unfortunately, these ones are probably gonna get shelved. So thanks for watching.